Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. Again, my name is Jeffrey Davis, and we continue to stream stories of leadership and entrepreneurship, how people are dealing with the economy, all real time. Over 6 interviews, actually 7,000 interviews. Over 1 million people have watched our stories over the 7-year period. And we keep going because of people like this. There's Marc Zwetchkenbaum, Marc Z, legal staffing. It's a Marc Z moment every time he's here every week. Welcome back, Marc.
Thank you, Jeff. Great to be here. Great to be in conversations with you about relevant subjects and topics that affect our listeners.
You know, Marc, there's a lot going on with recruiting personnel. It's probably the most consistent conversation I have with clients, hiring the right people, getting rid of the wrong people, compensation, all the topics that you seem to be immersed in 24/7. So what's up this week?
You know, Jeff, speaking about those subjects, I think that with the holidays coming up, we always have to sort of take a step back and think about ourselves and think about, not only obviously as companies are hiring candidates, companies are trying to retain employees, and companies and law firms are trying to keep a very positive culture. We've got to sort of look inward as well as outward. And so I wanted to talk today about dealing with stress and dealing with positive development during these times. And it's been a challenging year for a lot of people in the professional field. The good news is business has been really, really good. But at the same time, it has affected people's health. So I thought that it's important to talk about that.
Well, I agree with you. And, I just did 2 seminars last week for companies. And I was talking about the speed of business, the tension and the stress is at levels that people just have never experienced before. So I'm glad that you're bringing it up, Marc.
Right. Thank you, Jeff. So I thought breaking it down, there are a few suggestions, especially for people who are trying to plan through the holidays and next year. Now we're in November. One thing is not let your guard down. A lot of people think, okay, I have business, my business is good, I'm being productive, I'm hitting my numbers at a law firm, I'm generating business to bring into a law firm, or in-house company executives. I'm really bonding my team and we're being productive and our growth, internal and external growth is good. So all good. And, those are the times to say, you know what, I've got a plan for the future. Maybe I need good coaching. Maybe I need someone to tell me how to be even more successful. Somebody help me work through politics, work through different types of humor interactions that maybe are not going as positively to get me to the next step or to help me make my goals. And in fact, obviously, that's what you do. I mean, you do a lot of consulting, I know, to law firms and all different types of organizations and companies. And it's so important to not let your guard down and really look at ways to better yourself, even though things might be going well.
Well, I think the economy for us here is hot, but the pace of work is at a pace that people have never experienced before. And because people are not clear about their future, you have an unclarity with future and you have pace of change, and it's creating a sense of stress for people because they don't feel comfortable. They're dealing with the unknown more than ever before. And I agree with you. And learning how to deal with that and adapting is critical right now.
Right. And so, some of the suggestions that I have is obviously get coaching, get support, get help. And I know a lot of organizations continually reach out to you. And I know that, again, I've referred people to you that need that personal development as well as organizations and their team. Other things that I suggest to our listeners are mindfulness. It's so important to deal with stress and to really take courses or programs, law firms, companies, organizations, they all have point people now to get people into mindfulness programs. I know the different associations, the bar associations that I'm involved with, all touch base with us about that. The other thing is I'm trying to do it. It's always a challenge, is finding some form of exercise that works, whether it's walking, whether it's getting up earlier for the gym or for your exercise fitness equipment, or just even different exercises. But it's so important to get that break before, during, or after your day to clear your head, because things are moving at rapid speed.
Well, I'll just reinforce that the exercise point, and I'll just say, I think healthy routines are important. People should go to bed at the right time, wake up at the right time. You should not drink a lot. You should not smoke. You should eat healthy foods. You should eat them in the proper proportions, and you should exercise every day. And if you take good care of your body, which is a cherished machine, that machine will be built for the long haul. If you cut corners in taking care of that very unique machine, it's going to hurt you, especially during times of stress. So
Right.
it's that balanced. And, some people do all those things, but then they don't know how to relax. They don't know how to let their mind rev down, so to speak. And learning how to rev down is important. You know how to rev down. I also know you really know how to rev up. So you're much better revving up than revving down.
Correct. No,
if you've ever had a Mark C phone call at 9:45 at night, you know that.
No, it's difficult, Jeff. I mean, it's really difficult. And I know I'm trying to cut my emails off at a certain point, because, I'm getting emails 24/7 now. And it's like, when you start it, when you answer it, then it leads to more, and the day starts early, and then just figuring out all those dynamics. So absolutely.
Well, I think, I think there, that's an issue for everyone, but especially I see that style of work with baby boomers who are children of parents who came out of the Depression or the Second World War or the Korean War, let's say, or, closer to immigration to the United States from other countries. There's a certain attitude about work that was beaten into us as children about being responsible. And, I think we could learn a lot from millennials. I know there's always that debate about millennials and how they see work, but millennials seem to have grown up in a world where they think that balance is a little bit more important. They're still struggling with it. Baby boomers have more trouble because they have more habits that say it's inconsistent with that. So we're all trying to adjust to what's going on in the world.
Right. No, absolutely, Jeff. And but these are times, especially the way the economy continues to roll, that the tight market, and people have to make decisions in terms of their careers and running their companies and being in their managerial positions. It's a time where you're going to get less sleep, and at the same time, you're expected to be game on. So these are my suggestions that I'm trying to follow through on too, and I hopefully it's good for our listeners to start thinking about it.
And I also get my supplemental Mark Z moment on Saturday mornings sometimes on my way to getting my patterns built. And Mark, if somebody else is looking for their own personal Mark Z moment or support with personnel work, how would they find you?
Well, first of all, Google Marc Z, Jeff, M-A-R-C and the letter Z, or marczlegal.com, marczlegal.com, or 617-338-1300.
Well, thank you again. Every week we get our own Mark Z moment on Radio Entrepreneurs. We'll see him again next week. With that piece of information, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.